Okay. All right, well, it's a little after 6:30, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. I am going to share my screen. So on behalf of Girl Scouts, welcome. I am Stephanie Finleon-Cortez, and I'm the Chief Development and Communications Officer for the Council. And you are joining our council leadership, including our CEO, Angie Salinas, and our product program team, among several other staff. So we have a quick agenda to go through with you this evening. But if you've got any questions, please feel free to enter them into the chat. And as they come up, and we'll address them as soon as we can. So let me fix my view real quick before I get started. Okay. Okay. So just a quick reminder for everyone is we are going to be recording this meeting and sharing it with everyone after. So please do not share screenshots or unauthorized audiovisual recordings of this meeting. Our quick agenda for this evening, we're going to do a mid-season check-in. We want to hear how all of you are doing. We're going to share a few reasons to celebrate. We're going to give you an overview of our cookie season to date. We have just finished week 3 of our reorder sites being open. We're going to talk about our end of season dates and then just a quick COVID-19 reminder. First, as a quick check-in, like I mentioned, we're more than halfway through with with booth sales. I know I've seen them all over my community. How's everybody doing? We'd love to hear you tell us in the chat. You can have fun with emojis or GIFs if you want. Tell us, are your girls on fire? They are selling, and they're having a great time and they're surpassing all their goals. Or we're getting there, we're nearly to our goals. We can see the finish line. Or are y'all at a full stop? Like, is it March yet? We're so over this. So let us know how you're doing in the chat, please, just so we can kind of gauge a sense of where everyone's at, because we want to hear from y'all. Is anyone in there? I don't see anyone chatting. Okay, here we go. Oh yes, Raspberry Rally. All right, we've got some Tara's girls are on fire. Perfect. So yeah, please let us know how everything's going. Like I said, I'm seeing them all over in my community. All right, we've got a couple girls surpassing goals. Fabulous. Thank you very much, ladies, volunteers, for sharing that information. Oops, and I'm going backwards. Okay. All right, we've got some reasons to celebrate. And for here, I just like our CEO, Angie, to share a few words with everyone.
Well, on behalf of everybody, I just want to say thank you. We're so excited. Please just keep putting all your awesome comments. I've been running around as often, very much like Stephanie has been saying. Started off by having the opportunity on the first Saturday to be in the cookie warehouse at Sally Cheever. Worked with some of our volunteers from the National Association of Women Business Owners, many who have bought cookies, but they never got a chance to meet some of our great volunteers, and of course you as troop leaders. So what a great eye opener. But going out and just seeing our girls doing what they do, best, which is selling these cookies, and just seeing their excitement. Mostly hearing what they want to do, which is hearing about their goals and what they're learning about the cookies, but more importantly, just seeing their excitement about being Girl Scouts. So we just want to say thank you for doing this, because we know that without you, they wouldn't get this great experience, which is being responsible, their people skills, the opportunities for just being in the community and realizing what they're going to do is being able to do something with their funds. And so thank you so much for doing this. And as you know, this is a girl program in one of our 4 pillars. So thank you. But I just get so incredibly excited when they go up to total strangers and have that courage to be able to ask them if they want to buy a box of cookies. But I will tell you, we get more emails from people or people coming up saying, where are the Girl Scouts? I can't find them. And so we keep telling them, go to our website, be able to find where, where to find these Girl Scouts and where can they find their cookies. And like you, everybody is asking about these raspberry cookies. So yes, we can't wait till 27th. We've been trying to tell them only from a Girl Scout, and we really appreciate your patience with doing all this. But thank you, thank you, thank you. That's really our message, and we can't wait to get through the rest of this and keep writing about these great comments and your experiences with Girl Scouts. So thank you again for what you do for our Girl Scouts and our entire council. Our success is based on you, and we can't do this without you. So with that, Stephanie.
All right, thank you. Okay, so here we have a few pictures of our girls this year at different booths out and about the council. We do have a favor hearing in the chat how many of y'all are having such a stellar season. We want you to share your booth pictures and your cookie pictures with us. So please, if you want to share some pictures from your group, if you can email them to customercare@girlscouts-swtx.org. The comms team is collecting them, and they are planning to put together a synopsis video at the end of the cookie season, and we would love to have all of our girls represented. So please submit your photos. Okay, next. So real quick, we want to do a quick overview of our meeting on December 12th, which was a really long time ago. But that was the last time we got together with council leadership to kind of talk about the changes to the cookie season this year. So at that meeting, if you weren't able to join us, we had given a quick overview of our bakery and our council partnership and how that works. Each council does contract separately with one of two bakers that are authorized to sell Girl Scout cookies. Girl Scouts of Southwest Texas works with Little Brownie Bakers. Little Brownie Bakers contracts with about 73 of the 111 councils across the country. So they do serve most of the country. We also reviewed our sales projection process for 2023. And then we addressed the production shortages that we were just starting to hear about, that we had heard about in the fall, and how basically the cookie season for us was going to be affected. So as a quick reminder, Little Brownie Bakers ran into a production shortage. And as a movement, all of the Girl Scout councils across the country got together and had to collectively come up with a solution. Basically, two major parts of that solution happened. We had, I think, 13 Girl Scout councils that opted to postpone their cookie season until later this year. So you have a lot of Girl Scout councils in the north who are not starting to sell Girl Scout cookies until March and April. And then for the entire country, digital cookie shipped orders were not permitted until February 27th, which is a week from today. So those were the two big changes that we saw at the beginning of our sale because of Little Brownie Bakers' national shortage. To give a quick overview of the cookie season timeline, I know some of you on the call are very experienced and we have some others who might be a little bit newer. So basically the Girl Scouts of Southwest Texas cookie season kind of acts in two phases where we have pre-orders, order taking that begins December 14th, and that then goes into direct sales at our cookie booths after they arrive in town. So at the very beginning of the sale, and from a business perspective, we kind of wanted to walk through this timeline and then kind of share where our points of decision-making are. So at the very beginning of the season, we're always looking at the numbers of volunteers who are trained, the number of girls who have permission to sell cookies, the number of troops who we have that are selling. Those are all early indicators of how successful of a cookie season the council will have. The number of girls selling is pretty basically the same year over year. It's a slightly increase, I think, but not significant. But then all the other indicators are really good. That's what we look at early in the sale. Then after you've done your pre-orders and you turn in your troop initial order, that initial order is really the first indication for how our sale is doing as a council. This year, that troop initial order was really high. I'm going to talk about that in the next slide. And then after those initial orders come out, once the reorder sites open, Christina and the product program team work with our delivery agent, and they are monitoring every single box of cookies that comes in and out of all of our reorder sites. So then we're looking weekly at our inventory reports to determine Is inventory up? Is inventory down? Do we need to place a reorder? Do we not need to place a reorder? How are we doing? So those are weekly decision points that we're looking at as far as how we're going to roll out the rest of the program. And the star right here, this is just showing you where we're at in the current season as a decision point. We just finished week 3 of our reorders. And now we're going into week 4 tomorrow when the reorder sites open. And then, of course, the season ends with digital cookie shipped option now opens on February 27th, which with the sale to end in March. So what does that look like as far as inventory? So we've had a lot of conversations lately the last few years when we've had a lot of inventory. We haven't had much inventory. We've had some flavors are really hard to get. Some flavors. So if you've been around for a couple of years, inventory has been a really big discussion point, right? And we've always watched it very carefully. I kind of wanted to show you how inventory works during the cookie season, so year over year. So here we're going to start with total inventory, which roughly is just over 100,000 cases. This is all based on cases. Then obviously our inventory will decrease as the sale goes further and further along. The first biggest drop is the Troop Initial Cookie order right here. As I mentioned, if you want to compare 22 to 23, your Troop Initial Cookie order was 10% higher than in 2022, which is about a 5,000 case difference. Then we go into reorder week 1. And if you imagine, that was the end of January, the beginning of February. We had the freeze, we were closed for a couple days, some snow days. But our reorder for week 1, this is where it flips. The trend flips a little bit to where reorder for week 1 was down by 20% compared to 2022. So you see that dip right here. Then our reorders for week 2 was about the same. And our reorders for week 3, actually, this just last week that we just finished, is actually up by 35% compared to this time last year. So I kind of wanted to show this to let you know how we're tracking the troops and your behavior as far as how you're taking cookies in and out of the warehouse. And to also kind of let y'all know that we look at this information, but just looking at the last 2 years, we don't really know what to predict for week 4 and gift of caring moving forward. Are a lot of cookies going to go out the warehouse this week? We don't know. Is the sale going to stall out? We're not really sure. It's kind of hard to tell because there's no reliable year over year information just because of all the changes we've had the last couple of cookie seasons. But where we're at now, our current status is about 5,000 cases in inventory. Those are all of the remaining cookies in San Antonio. So we're in really good shape for the end of the season. I know your next question is going to be, what flavors are those? So this is just a quick snapshot. As you can see, we still have plenty of the core flavors. However, we have a lot of adventurefuls and we have a lot of tag-alongs. So we have a lot of those flavors. That's all we're going to say. But we're pretty good with all the other flavors. As you know, we've already run out of s'mores and we've already run out of Toffee-tastic. We run out of those every year. So what we'd like to do is we want to extend the sale by 1 week. So moving our sale end date from February 26th, which was the original end date, to Sunday, March 5th. So the rationale for extending the season is to really still be in response to the production shortage. Angie had mentioned the girls that she's speaking with. You can tell from the chats, some of your troops have met all your goals and you're on fire. Some of you're still working towards your goals and you need a little bit more time. So since there's been so much conversation about digital cookie shipped option not being available until February 27th, which includes access to those raspberry rallies, we want to give girls more time to reach the goals with the digital cookie shipped option. So that's going to stay open until Sunday, March 5th. The other reason we want to extend the sale is because we want to take advantage of National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend, which is March 3rd through 5th. Because so many councils postpone their sale because of the production shortage, GSUSA actually changed National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend from the last weekend in February to the first weekend of March. So if we don't extend the sale by a week, our sale will be over when the rest of the country is celebrating National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend. So the good news with this is that we have received word from HEB that they will allow our council-sponsored booths for the final weekend, March 3rd through 5th, at the San Antonio stores and the southern stores. I think we're still waiting to hear back about the stores on our border region over there in Del Rio and Eagle Pass. We don't have a final word for you yet. But the other HEB stores are going to be allowing us to sell cookies in front of their stores for one weekend in March. And that we are encouraging our troops to do independent booth sites. And if you are doing that, then please make sure you're following the e-buddy process as usual. And since we're talking about booth sites, we also want to make sure that if you have a booth site that's claimed and you're not going to be there, please unclaim it in e-buddy. That happens for a couple of reasons. That affects the website. We've had some messages coming in through social media where customers are looking for booths. We've told them to go to the website to find a booth. They do that, and the booth they go to is not there because it hasn't been released in e-buddy. So that's just a friendly reminder for all of that as well. So we're planning to extend the sale until March 5th. So your new end of sale dates, we already talked about digital cookie is going to stay open until March 5th. That includes the shipped only orders. The cookie warehouse at the Sally Cheever Center will also remain open for one more week. So the hours will be from 12 to 6 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Saturday, March 4th will be your last day to get cookies and will be open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Troop Cookie Manager end of program paperwork is now going to be due March 6th. We're giving you a couple more days to finish that paperwork. And the Community Cookie Manager end of program paperwork is still due on March 13th. That is not a change from the original calendar. Our goal is to still wrap up all the paperwork before y'all break for spring break, because we know that y'all want to be done with it as much as we want to then be able to audit it. So any questions about the end of sale dates? All right. I know that there's been some chatter. I'm checking up on it now too. Does anyone have any questions? If you have a question, please raise your hand to speak or write your question in the chat.
Hey, Stephanie, I just wanted to address one of the questions that was asked by Rosalind in regards to when Digital Cookie Shipped opens, asking if parents should do 2 separate orders since Raspberry Rallies have been canceled. And I did put it in the chat, but I wanted to clarify that issue has been with the other baker, the ABC baker. We are hoping to not have that issue and hoping that we're learning from their mistakes before we open in a week. So
yes. But all indicators are we do have a very limited supply of Raspberry Rallies, and that is by council. And once that supply is ordered, it's ordered and it's gone, and we won't be able to get any more. So
and that number also decreased from what we originally were going to get after Little Brownie Baker announced their production issues. So they had to stop production on that. So we're definitely, all councils, our council are getting less than what we were originally told.
So we have a question in the chat, Christina. Is there a shipping chart for shipping charges?
Yes, we will look for that and drop that in the chat.
Okay. Emma's on it.
Emma already did it. She's on it, doggone it.
And then Patsy's asking do we know exactly what time Digital Cookie opens on February 27th?
From 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, when the clock strikes midnight, it will open.
There you go. So maybe drink some caffeine or call in sick if you want to stay up late and order those cookies.
And our baker has informed us that they are going to keep a close eye, and they'll be turning off that variety of Raspberry Rally as we sell out. So again, hope they're learning from, unfortunately, the other bakers' issues.
Yes. Okay. All right. Any
So,
other questions?
Stephanie, I just want
Yes.
to, again, tell everybody, thank you so much. I know. So we just really want to stress, this is, big emphasis is to marry up with the Girl Scout weekend celebration for national, but this is for girls to be able to hit their goals. The great news is that Girl Scout Council, we're at 98%. I think, is that correct? I think we're at 98% of our goals. So as you all know, when we projected what we hope to do for the council in our budget, we've already used successfully our council. All our girls have already so far hit 98% of what we projected to do in sales this year. So this is to get our girls to hit the goals that they want to be able to hit, to be able to go to camp, to be able to go to the CEO events that they want to attend, all the objectives. So this will push them to hit what they want to be able to do. So this is objectives for no better way. So we're excited. And again, this is only 5,000 cases of cookies left. So I shouldn't say only, but I mean, it might seem like a whole lot, but in realities, if all of you have imagined what's out there, but in the cookie warehouse, these will go relatively fast. Our projections, if you kind of look at what went out at our chart, was we forecasted probably a good 1,500 could go out this next week. So even another 1,500. So roughly, if all of you decide to come in and start picking up the normal rate, this could go out in the next 2 weeks. So then what could go with one more week? So these numbers could go quickly. So we're just kind of letting you all know that this is for, so just plan accordingly. And again, the emphasis would be, please don't be taking anything that you're not going to be able to sell. So we want to make sure our
Right.
girls are just going to be doing it for the objective, for them to be able to hit their goals. And we're excited because these are all the tools we wanted to make sure that if we were going to be able to do this, that we would do everything in support of you to be able to, for our girls to be able to get what they needed to do. So we're so excited for HEB because we were not going to do this without HEB. So Christina, she knew this was the first thing, and that was the whole decision before we said yes was, is HEB in? And Christina did everything she did to make sure we got HEB. So she and Stephanie got the okays and we are in.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Stephanie, there's a couple more questions in the chat that I wanted to address. I'm going to go back up to Patsy's. That we know of, no, there's not a limit on how many packages can be ordered by a customer on Digital Cookie Shipped. Yes, totally understand about the not moving the deadline for CCM paperwork. We always hear that everyone would like to be done by spring break. So that is why we've kept those dates the same. We only move the TCM paperwork from Monday to Wednesday of that March 6th to the March 8th. Of course, if any CCMs are going to have any issues getting that paperwork done on time, they can always reach out to us. That's not a problem. Am I missing anything? Emma had posted earlier up that we're hoping to get the new HEB booth weekend uploaded by Wednesday. And we'll include a note in the eBuddy email. Oh, and yes, you're welcome for my replies, Patsy.
Okay.
Anybody else?
All right. I don't see any more questions. If you think of something, please feel free to add it to the chat. We do want to give everyone just a quick reminder about COVID-19. The required protocols do vary based on a member's county of residence or where a Girl Scout activity takes place. So always check the home page and that lovely little button in the center. And fortunately, COVID cases have been down. I think last time I looked Friday, I think most all of our entire jurisdiction was in the low category. So that was good. So I hope everyone is staying healthy, as I know I'm getting over a cold. I know Christina's getting over a cold, not COVID. We're just getting sick with everything else. So if y'all are like, if your households are like us, I hope y'all are taking care of yourselves and staying healthy. And then we do want to end with a thank you. This is just my favorite little blurb. Because of you, she makes a promise and she keeps it. Because of you, she learns a law and she lives it. And because of you, she goes into the world and she changes it. So we know that our cookie program would not happen without the volunteers and the parents who spend many, many, many hours supporting their girls with their girl-led businesses. So thank you very much. I know as we get towards the end of the season and you're tired, I want to make sure that you know we are appreciative of you and that you are reminding yourself that the work you're doing now is really having long-term effects for all of the girls in your troops. So thank you very much. Anything else in the chat?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, alrighty. Well, then if that's it, then thank you so much. We kept it short and sweet this evening. Like I said, keep an eye out for updates in the weekly eBuddy email that Emma and the team sends out. And if you have any issues at all, please don't hesitate to contact customer care, and I'm sure we will take care of you as soon as we can.
Thank you all very much. Get those photos in. We want to make sure we're showcasing our superstars, and all of you send pictures of yourselves as well, our volunteers. We love to showcase what you're doing for our girls and our council.
All right. Thank you.
Great team.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
evening.
Good night. Be safe.